Well, let's bring in Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley, US diplomat and Middle East analyst and distinguished fellow at the Atlantic Council. Thank you for your time as ever, Gina. Are we any closer to a peace deal?
The question. I am not sure, in all honesty. This is such a difficult step for both sides to take, to actually get to the place where there is a compromise, where each side has something to point to that can sway their backers, their supporters, their population, that this was a deal worth doing. And that's why we can't get over this final hump. President Trump, I am certain, is in a deal of pain at having to give the Iranians anything, because we heard him say repeatedly, unconditional surrender. They will cry uncle. We've won. So this compromise, and it's going to be a compromise coming out, is painful. The Iranians, on the other hand, are not going to get everything they want. The amounts of money we're hearing about, around $300 million, is not the assets that they've got frozen. The lifting of sanctions immediately really is the amount of money they need to restore, repair, and shore up their position of power. So both sides are unhappy and dragging their feet.
I mean, this is the million-dollar question, but what do you think an achievable peace deal would even look like that might be acceptable to both sides currently?
Yeah. Well, I think they're pretty close to it, and I think both sides have made that clear. The president has said it's all but negotiated. He's got to decide to, sign off. It is going to be a compromise of some sort. The details will include some amount of money, if it's an unfreezing of assets or lifting of some sanctions, maybe just the oil sanctions, something that the Iranians can use to begin to rebuild that is imperative from their side. Whether there is any kind of fee on the Strait of Hormuz, although the United States has said that's a red line, there are environmental funds that others have set up through passageways. So there's a way of squaring that circle as well. The things that the United States said they had to have, including the proxies or the missile program shut down, that is not going to be in this first round of negotiations. That's not going to be there. And that is what makes it so very difficult for President Trump.
Yeah. Do you think the way this ends is that Trump is going to have to accept a deal that is, from America's perspective, a bad deal, but he will have to do what he's quite good at doing, which is trying to convince his base that actually it's the greatest deal of all time? And it won't be, but he can probably convince them of it.
I think we're going to see something pretty similar to that. I don't know that it's going to be a bad deal, insofar as already Iran's nuclear program has been set back years, if not decades, from the damage done from the war. It is certainly a weaker country that does need to give more attention domestically than causing trouble abroad. There is an opening here for more. So I don't know that it's a bad deal. It's a deal that gets the strait open, that helps restore world economies. I passed by $5 a gallon gas, which in my state, which is normally around $2.90, was quite a shock to see. This is real. This is real in the United States as well as around the world. So I'm not going to call it a bad deal. It's the deal that must be made.
Gina, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley, their US diplomat and Middle East analyst and distinguished fellow at the Atlantic Council. 5 to 5 now.